If you have eczema, psoriasis, have ever used steroid medication, or are using it right now, please watch this video. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. In this video, I'm going to talk about something called topical steroid withdrawal. This has been the cause of my year of hell. I was actually doing a reflection exercise on 2021, and I had to admit to myself that it was the worst year of my life. It doesn't mean there wasn't good things or good days, but overall, a lot of bad days. Some of that was career, some of that was relationships, but a lot of it was a rash that completely covered my body and has put me in so much pain. A rash that right now is all over my eyes, all over my neck. I don't know if it would be helpful to see things up close. Let's see. Red, cracked. This is so much better than it's been. Eyes are looking how they're looking. It's so funny because I feel like things look so much better, so I go out in public now, but then I'm met with people that are like, oh my god, what happened to you? It's fine. It's part of the humbling journey. This is what this looks like. It is really painful. That's actually one of the questions that people ask me right away, like, are you in pain? And yeah, it is painful. It burns, it stings, it feels like so tight and dry even when it's not. It feels like a bunch of little needles. The nerve endings are really close to the skin because the skin is so thin, so air hurts. But the good news is, after 10 months without having any diagnosis and really questioning, what am I doing wrong? What have I done to get here? Why did I hurt my body so much? How did I hurt my body so much? Is there something I'm missing? Is it lupus? Is it gut, leaky gut? Is it this? Is it that? I finally can say with 99% certainty that the main thing is topical steroid withdrawal. So what does that mean and how does it happen? Topical steroids are steroid creams that you put on your skin, most commonly for eczema and definitely for eczema in my case. So I have been using steroids on my arms where I had eczema, which was only right here. This is the only place on my body for the last 2 to 3 years in a very small amount. But the thing with steroids is you're really not supposed to use them long term. And I was carrying around this small tube of steroid cream for a very long time that maybe was even expired. And I had this thing in my head, and I feel like this is the one dumb thing that I did to convince myself that it was okay. And that was that the steroid cream is like 0.1% hydro whatever, or 1%, or something that's a low number. But in steroid terms, that's actually just a standard dose. So what I would do is I would see a couple little eczema spots come up and I would put the cream on maybe 2 or 3 times a week for a long time. Sometimes when you stop using steroids, you think that the eczema is coming back, but it's actually the withdrawal happening. So we think the eczema is coming back, we put more steroids on. Not everyone has such a dramatic reaction to coming off steroids, but it is estimated that at least 12 to 35% of people will experience topical steroid withdrawal. And in my experience, it's much worse than my eczema ever was. Not to mention, it doesn't matter where you applied the steroids, you will still have the withdrawal symptoms in different areas of your body, usually where there is a lot of heat or blood collection. I didn't actually make a super intentional decision to stop using the steroids. I just finally stopped using them around, I think, February of March of this year, and then my skin really started to go crazy. Over May, June, July, and August, I had a dry, itchy, swollen rash all over my body. My arms were completely covered, my legs were completely covered, my neck, my chest, not my face at the time. My stomach had bumps all over it, and my back somehow was fine. And then it cleared up, and by September, I was actually looking pretty good, except for my skin was bleached where the rash was versus tanned where the rash wasn't. But I was feeling so much better until November when it started to come back. At that point, about 6 weeks ago, I did a 10-day parasite cleanse, and I think that all of that detoxification actually made this flare-up come a little bit bigger and faster than it maybe would have, but my body does need to process and detox all of these steroids, so it needs to come up and leave and re-heal. Now that I'm actually way more sure about a diagnosis, I want to use this video to explain what topical steroid withdrawal is and also talk about what has helped me so far and what I think is supportive and not supportive if you are already going through it, and also so you can learn what to expect if you decide to come off of your steroids. Okay, so the bad news about topical steroid withdrawal is there is not a lot of research on it, and the research says that there's basically nothing that you can do about it. The good news is that I believe that eating very healthy and detoxing my body and use detoxing protocols is going to speed up the timeline of my healing. So it means that everything I've done was already moving in the right direction, and it doesn't make me feel like I need to change the course of action in any way. And the biggest permission I got for myself from receiving this diagnosis is that I didn't do this and this wasn't all my fault, because I was being really hard on myself, thinking that I had completely destroyed my liver and gut with food. And as someone who has been really mindfully healthy for most of my adult life, if not basically my whole life, I felt really defeated and sad. And now that I know that this is an iotropic reaction, which means that it was caused from medication, it just allows me to remember that it's not all my fault. And it's also a good reminder that I really need to be an advocate for my health and always asking, why am I putting this in my body? What is it actually doing? And that can feel overwhelming. Not everyone has a biochem degree to understand the mechanism of why these things are happening, but the systems we run medicine through aren't necessarily supportive of holistic treatment. There's not always a lot of time when you're with your doctor to ask questions and have a discussion and learn everything. Often it's about getting a prescription and getting out. And the prescriptions are described to stop the symptoms, but it doesn't mean they are stopping what is actually happening in the body underneath. Some of the people in the topical steroid withdrawal community have created an informal calculation that says that if you were using steroids for 1 year, it will take 1 month to withdrawal. So if you were using steroids for 10 years, then it might be 10 months of withdrawal symptoms. So I am on month 10, almost 11 of withdrawal symptoms. And I don't actually know how long I used steroids for, but I do know that my mom was even using steroids when I was in her womb. So maximum 26 years, maximum 26 months, and hopefully shorter, because I am able to speed up that timeline by really taking care of my body instead of just saying, well, there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm going to continue to live my life, not rest properly, eat like shit, and just hope for the best. If you do want to read actual research on the mechanism of topical steroid withdrawal, which is also sometimes called red skin syndrome, then you can look up Dr. Marvin Rappaport. He has a couple papers, but mostly he is just really mad at doctors and dermatologists for not being safer with steroid use and for denying that topical steroid withdrawal is actually a thing. So I want to talk about my realities with this experience, because for me, hearing and reading other people's stories has been really, really helpful in just allowing me to relax. I felt so much guilt about not being able to work and not wanting to work and not knowing, is it an excuse, or am I actually this tired? Am I actually this down? Am I actually in this much pain? It doesn't necessarily not look painful, but as you can see here, I'm in pretty good spirits. I'm sitting in front of the camera, and I want to tell you that if this is something you're going through, this is not my everyday. This has not been my days for many weeks, many months this year. I just could not function. And of course, it was worse when my whole body was covered in a rash. It was way harder to move, because it was so painful, so deeply itchy. I think scratching and then causing bleeding also comes with extra guilt, and just spending so much time in this guilt cycle of I'm hurting myself, I'm not doing the right thing, why won't it stop, why can't I make it go away, did I do something to make it worse? It really, really, really messes with your mind. And finally, after the last 4 weeks for sure, close to 6 weeks of basically being bedridden, my energy feels like it is coming back, and I think that is a combination of some definite symptom improvements. I feel like I'm on the other side of the peak, and also kind of kicking myself in the ass to get motivated again. I did a lot of reading and meditation around remembering what my purpose is, remembering who I'm here to serve and what I'm here to learn, and just getting excited about that, and also not putting too much pressure on myself to go have 16-hour days, because that's what I do and have done as an entrepreneur. And I think that maybe also contributed to why I am experiencing topical steroid withdrawal and other people don't, because my adrenals have been burnt out from being so stressed out, which I totally put on myself for a lot of years. But yesterday was the first day that I actually had a full day where I felt motivated to do all the things I wanted to do. I got home at 7:30 at night thinking, there's not enough hours in the day. There's other things that I want to do and other things that I want to learn. Of course, honoring my exhaustion and going to bed. But all that to say that that day is coming for you, and a gentle reminder that healing is not linear. It goes like this. Energy levels go like this for a number of reasons, and you got this. One thing that I've really been trying to do in the last couple weeks is just focus on all of the things I am doing to help my body, which is consuming tons of fruits and vegetables. I am drinking celery juice every single morning. That is a protocol from the medical medium, who you may or may not know about, may or may not agree with. but I think some of his work is absolutely brilliant. I've been using lemon water, I've been using enemas, I've been using fasting, and I need to count all of those good things that I am doing to support my body. I'm resting when I need to, versus thinking about every little thing that might be hurting my body, because that will just perpetuate probably inflammation in the body. Even if it's not even coming from the topical steroid withdrawal, it's just coming from the stress and the guilt emotions that are passing through my body. The not so glamorous realities, not that any of these realities are glamorous, is that I peel off flakes of skin that are, the size of a dime often, that I scratch until I bleed because bleeding feels better than itching, that I wake up with my hair stuck in my neck because it's been pussing and drying overnight and I have to pull my hair out of it, that I wake up with my eyes almost swollen shut some days, my eyelashes have thinned, my hair is breaking around my scalp. Sometimes even if I'm completely sitting or lying still, it feels like there are a ton of needles in the affected area. I obviously don't feel like my normal confident self when I am going out and having strangers looking at me and asking me what's wrong. And because my body is trying to constantly heal wounds, it's super exhausting. So I'm just explaining this to kind of paint a picture of what this experience has been like so that you can know that you are not alone. I'll tell you a little bit more about the specific diet and detox protocols that I have been doing. So what I have seen a lot of people doing is an autoimmune style diet or autoimmune paleo, candida diet. Those are kind of things that people are exploring. That's what I explored over the summer. Like I said, things did clear up, but then it came back. What's most interesting to me about my experience is this full clear up and then return. I haven't seen many other people talk about that, which made me sort of scared because it seemed like people kind of go on a curve that's like this, whereas mine is like up, down, up halfway, and then coming back down, and hopefully that will be the end. Anyway, so I did the autoimmune paleo thing, definitely something to look into. What I've been doing for the last 6 weeks has been much closer to raw vegan. So eating actually a ton of fruit, a ton of vegetables, nuts and seeds, and maybe one cooked meal a day, avoiding gluten, avoiding dairy, avoiding soy, avoiding all animal products. And I have been working with an amazing holistic health practitioner named Ezgi. I will link her below. She is quite alternative. I am more than happy to try and work with alternative styles of medicine. I really do believe in holistic natural healing and the power of food. I understand that this way of eating might feel very extreme to you, so I just want you to be really mindful of what you are prepared for mentally, what you are prepared for maybe financially, because I do spend a lot of my money right now on the food that I'm eating. So keeping in mind that the tools and the protocols that I'm using are specifically for supporting detoxification of my body, not necessarily supporting the mechanism that is topical steroid withdrawal, which means that my blood vessels are affected and my nitric oxide is affected. It's just full body detox, right? So I start every day with coconut oil pulling, which means swishing coconut oil around in my mouth, helping to pull the bacteria out, spit that out, scrape my tongue, then brush my teeth. No drinking or swallowing things first thing in the morning when all of that bacteria that your mouth has detoxed into your tongue and teeth before that's been cleaned out. You don't want to swallow that up, okay? Then I'm gonna go have some lemon juice, and then I drink half a liter of celery juice on a empty stomach other than the lemon juice that I had first. I've also been doing enemas every single day. That is putting liquid up into your colon so that it can help cleanse your intestines. And if you are using coffee specifically, which is what I've been doing, it helps to stimulate the liver to release and create a lot of detoxifying enzymes, 700% of what it normally does, so that it can help with the detoxification process. I've also been using fasting tools. So I did 2 36-hour dry fasts, which mean no food, no water. I've done a 48-hour water fast. I did a 6-day juice fast. And something I'd like to kick up a notch is integrating daily intermittent fasting. Why fasting is so powerful is that it's just giving your body a break with everything out of the way. So I know that I've been really guilty of thinking, what supplement do I need to add? What nutrient do I need to add? How much healthy food can I get in my body? But really, our detoxifying methods and pathways will be able to function way better and faster when there's nothing else that the body has to worry about digesting and working with. The only supplement that I'm using right now is dandelion root tea powder. So it's dandelion root in a capsule, and I just put it in a little hot water. Try and drink that twice a day. It's liver supporting, doesn't taste that bad to me. It's very gentle. It's a plant supplement. It's beautiful. I love my little dandelion. And again, this is just what I'm doing. I'm sharing it to be transparent. I'm sharing it to show options of how you can support your body based on how I feel, based on the research that I've done, based on how much smaller this flare is as far as where it covers my body versus the last one. I am very confident that I'm not doing any harm to my body. And aside from the skin stuff altogether, I have way less sugar cravings. I feel way more clear. I feel way more light. And I can't say my energy has been there or that I feel energized, because I really haven't, but I know it's because my body, my immune system is pretty low, all of the things, you know? What else can I say about this? Another tip if you're experiencing topical steroid withdrawal or red skin syndrome is not to bulk buy anything that feels good on your skin. So something that is characteristic of this reaction is that there might be something that feels really good and relieving for your skin one day, and then the next day your skin is just over it. So I have experienced this a lot over this year without really realizing that it wasn't just me, because I didn't really know what was going on. So in the beginning I was using coconut oil and that felt super good, but then at one point it just felt too thick. It was keeping my skin way too greasy for too long. It was causing the dead skin to sort of like melt off or slough off, if you are familiar with medical terms, and then I would have like just gross thick amounts of skin coming off. So then I switched to olive oil, which felt really good and really light, and then at one point I had so much heat coming off of my arms that the olive oil was still just keeping that heat in. That was causing pain. Then I found a little baby salve that's called Lucas's Pawpaws or something, and that has been really good for really dry areas, but again, it's a little bit too thick like the coconut oil. Sometimes I use a little bit of silver cream when there are areas that are bleeding, because it's an antibacterial, really light cream. I've had a really simple lotion that I used as well that has been kind of in and out of what feels good. So the moral of the story is, if you find something that feels good, like Vaseline or oil or whatever it is, don't just go buy 5 cans of it, because chances are you might need to use something else. Also, ice packs have been a savior. First thing in the morning, I always roll ice over my eyes, or an ice jade roller, because my eyes are so swollen. If I'm feeling really hot or scratching a lot, I will get a ice pack and put it on the itchy area. I've also put a wet tea towel in the freezer so that it freezes, because that can feel really nice to put over my face and my neck and my arms. People generally find that wearing sleeves or compression over the affected area is helpful, not only because it's out of sight, out of mind, but it's putting just a little bit of pressure so that the air isn't so sensitive and so that it doesn't feel so itchy. Because I live in Bali and it's literally 35 degrees Celsius every day, that has been hard for me, but I have been wearing bandanas around my neck just so that when I reach up to touch the skin, because it is so tempting to touch because it feels numb, like it feels so dry that I can't actually feel. And normally I can feel my skin, so it feels like I need to rip this off so that I can feel what's going on under there, but then I rip it off and it's bleeding and it's pussing. Anyway, to stop myself from doing that, I've been wearing bandanas so that when I put my hand up, I feel the cloth. I just take my hand away, and I try to wear really light, long-sleeved clothes as well so that I stop touching my arms. I'm not entirely sure what would help you best if this is something you're going through, but I am absolutely happy to support you, happy to answer questions, so just leave those in the comment box below. I think I'm gonna tie this up here. This might actually be the end of this series, because this isn't just what my channel is about, so I'm focused way more on personal development and mindset and spirituality videos. I hope you'll check out some of those, which will probably come on the end screen, but again, I'm really here to share, here to be as transparent as possible in what the experience is like, here to cheer you on and make you feel seen and supported if this is something you're going through. So let me know how I can be of service. I'm sending you so much love, whether you're watching this video just for fun or whether you are struggling with a similar health issue or the exact same health issue. I am thinking of you, I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye!